You are watching PunkTV.ca, streaming videos on demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now with over 15,000 assets from videos to interviews, photos, and reviews of CDs, movies, and hot new products. PunkTV.ca is your web TV magazine, so keep watching PunkTV.ca.
Hear the eyebrows raise when I start singing. Songs I sing are all about myself.
All right, I'm Dixon Christie here from PunkTV.ca, and we have the honor of talking to Mr. Dan Bangan. He doesn't know it yet, but I think that you're the next Jack Johnson. I think that you've got a sublime style and a manner of kind of reaching into the soul of people and really grabbing them with your lyrics. And I was really surprised to see that you're really quite upbeat. I think most people would be too. How are you, Dan?
I'm good. I'm feeling fairly upbeat. You know?
Feeling upbeat right now? Good. And how does such an introduction find you?
Good. Well, I appreciate it. That's very kind. I take a lot of influence from some good songwriters, and I just want to make great music. I just want to make great songs, and see where that goes.
Sad place. Do you find yourself like Henry Miller in the sense that you can only write from places of desperation and pain? And
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm able to be a fairly easygoing person because I get all of the other stuff out in the music, and there is a fairly dramatic, intense kind of aspect to my music. That's undeniable. But at the same time, I like to think that there's something there are moments of relief in that, and I try and embed a little bit of humor into the songs, and try and keep people awake, and I sometimes my songs even put me to sleep. So it's good to kind of throw the odd thing in there that's going to keep people kind of like interested and perky, I suppose. I don't know.
when you talk about influences, how about Cat Stevens?
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's definitely that kind of like old troubadour kind of thing. I mean, I listened to a lot of Paul Simon and Bob Dylan as a kid, and Van Morrison, and I was playing my parents' vinyl records and stuff, and just going through boxes and seeing the ones that had the coolest covers and putting them on the record player and seeing what happened. But these days, I think a lot, and Nick Drake would be another one. But I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jeff Tweedy and Hayden and M. Ward, and some really just fantastic songwriters.
What is the songwriting process for you? Does it take a lot of pains and sufferance to birth your song babies, or do you find yourself just ripping them off one after another?
I think it goes in spurts. There are times when I'll, kind of whip off a couple songs in a week, and other times when it'll be 3-4 months in between a song and the next one. And songs are kind of like children, you just kind of, they come along when they come along, and you do your best to, give them the attention they deserve, and you really kind of grab onto them. Every little song you've written along the way kind of has a piece of you in it, and I think that you just kind of, I never personally push it. I never push writing. I don't make writing times. I don't set aside time to do some writing or anything like that. It just kind of happens all the time. I'm constantly text messaging myself notes or writing something down on a pad and shoving it in my pocket if a phrase comes into my head. And I think you kind of just always have to be writing, and at the same time, just letting it flow naturally and not trying to, go in any one direction, but letting the direction come to you.
It's not what you think it is.
I'm thinking of the movie Amadeus. Mozart is able to picture the whole music score in his head. He can think in multiple dimensions. Is that the Dan Bangan method?
Definitely not. I'm a much more scattered individual. I'm much more unplanned, I think. He was genuinely a genius, and I'm much more of a fool who is kind of able to come up with a good turn of a phrase now and then. And it's funny, I'm mostly self-taught in terms of the music side of things, and So I mean, it's interesting when I get a band behind me and they're all seasoned pros and seasoned, amazing classically trained musicians. I really feel like, oh God, these are heavy, and so I'm always kind of feeling like I'm faking it a little bit, but do what you can.
It's not what you think it might be. It's not what you think it is.
I'm a big fan of faking it. In fact, I was just talking about how I always feel like I'm faking it into this situation or this interview with this person or this interview with this person, and at some point I'm going to be discovered for.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't know. I think just the inflection of how you play the guitar and just having a kind of intrinsic sense of rhythm and stuff can go a long way. And you don't have to be technically the most incredible musician to make good songs and make good music. I mean, these days people are making incredible records in their basement and they've been playing the guitar for a year, or they've been picking up things. And I know people who've made incredible records, electronic records, everything, who couldn't read a note on a page, but just do it all by sound. These are people who play synth and piano and stuff and are just doing it all by ear and just what sounds good. And I think that there's a place for that. And there's also a place for the classically trained, kind of educated musicians. But there's whatever gets you off, whatever boils your potatoes. And you just gotta,
Boils your potatoes.
you just gotta do what works.
You're a big fan of the irreverent.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
You were showing off your your beautiful art at the show, and I should describe it.
Yes, I had a unicorn painting, a beautiful vinyl unicorn painting given to me and my bass player John when we were in Arnprior, Ontario, and so since then we've carted it around to all the gigs and displayed it on the stage for everybody to see because it really is something special.
And part of the inherent quality in it, of course, is the fact that it was given to you with absolutely no irony intended.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you think that we kind of live in an age where 80s paraphernalia and kind of things that are very cute and, retro are in style again. And this gentleman, presented this to us wearing a vest and like these little short shorts. And just kind of really wanted us to have this painting of a unicorn. And there was no, isn't this funny about it? It was very serious and it was very, appreciated. I thought it was awesome.
Wasting my time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it ain't deep.
There's been a huge cultural shift these days. I mean, everyone's attention span is so quick that, whatever's flashy and whatever can kind of win the attention for the day ends up being the fad and then is gone the next day, So, we always have good music to go back to and listen to and try and keep us centered.
Absolutely. And speaking of good music, your new album?
Yeah, I've got a record out called Postcards and Daydreaming. It's been out for a little while in Canada and the US. It just recently came out in Australia, which is pretty exciting. And in a couple months, I'm going to go back into the studio and get working on the next one, which I am eagerly awaiting. And I'm really looking forward to getting the next one done.
And are you writing all the time for this next one, or do you have most of it all kind of planned out?
Yeah, absolutely. I've probably got enough material for about 2 new records at the moment, so I'm just going to combine them into one super duper record, let's hope. So.
Awesome. So tell us about the songs that you'll be playing for us.
I hadn't even really thought. I guess I'm supposed to do something from the record, so I'm going to do a song called Not What You Think It Is, which is the opener. And it's a little quiet. I'm hoping it'll be okay in this hotel lobby that we're in. It ain't easy. The cover's warm, but underneath the crumbs are not as pleasing. And the carpet stain, well, it rock!
Watch PunkTV.ca for all the best modern rock videos and interviews.